Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13, everything vaping related and everything on the forums and in the networks, it's Junkie Rock 13. My name's Ross Sanders. I'm here bringing you a quick little, sort of like a review tutorial type thing on the Vivi Nova tank. This is a brand new one. I'm just going to look at it. I'm going to show you how to re-wick a coil. It's not that hard. Some people have said, I don't want to get involved in doing that. I'll just buy the heads and they're cheaper and easier. I'm going to show you how to save some money by re-wicking the coils and how easy it really is. It does not have to be difficult. Let's get right into it. Check out the Vivi Nova tank. Alrighty folks, so here is the Vivi Nova. I have the camera in a weird position, so you're going to see a little bit of the tripod right here, but here's the box that the Vivi Nova comes in. I'm going to try not to hit the camera. Here's the box. I'm trying to get it close up so you can see everything that's in the package. And this is the only way that I've been able to get good shots. Alright, so I'm going to take the tank out. Show you what it looks like. Now this is the version 2.5. It has a little mouthpiece on there. You can see that better now. So there's the tank, and that has a 2.4 head in there. I'm going to set that actually off to the side and just show you the two heads that it comes with. Here is one, and this is a 1.8. You'll notice that it has like four little wicks coming off the sides. Okay, let me just put that back in here so I don't get them all mixed up. There's the 1.8, and this one's kind of unique. This one only has one piece of wick coming out of it, and it is a 2.8. Okay, now the way this one's set up with the one wick, the last version, well, the version that I have version 1. It did not come with a head with one wick, but I went ahead and did it myself by putting one wick in there. Okay, so I'm just going to put them out to the side. I'm going to bring back in the tank. So here's the tank, that the way it comes set up to you. Nice little, I believe it's Delrin mouthpiece. Okay. Actually, it has like a little piece of rubber down in the middle there. Can you see that? It's the first time I'm noticing that. Interesting. And here is the top cap. It unscrews. It's threaded onto the plastic tank. The top cap has a little O-ring on there. Some nice threads. God, I need a better camera to do these close-ups. Okay, top cap. Now I'm going to take off the tank tube. It's just a plastic tube. I don't know the exact chemical structure of it, but it has threads on both ends. Little Vivi Nova on the bottom. Graduated marks. Now this is how the version 1, the version 2.0 were. This is pretty much the same tank tube. From what I have heard, that there's an actual bigger tank coming out. They're called the Mega Vivi Nova, I've heard. And here is the base with the changeable head in it. Now you notice the head, if you just want to change it, you just unscrew this. You just unscrew it from the base. And this is the 2.4 head. And this one has 4 little, I believe they're 1mm wicks. Okay, inside the rubber little cap there. And that's where the coil is wrapped in there. Okay, I'm going to set that right off to the side right here because we're going to be working with that one. And this is the inside of the base of it. You can see that's the positive post coming straight up the center there. Got another little O-ring, the threading in there. Nice knurled section right here. And the air hole on this one, I hope you can see this, is in the top of the 510 connection. Now what I would like to show you is version 1. This is my version 1 Vivi Nova. And if you notice right here in the bottom cap, or the knurled section, is my air hole. And that is not on this. It is in the 510 connection. I also have noticed that the post, this post right here, is a little bit longer, goes up a little bit more in this one, in the 2.5. Them seem to be the only differences that I have. So what I'm going to do is take this, the base, put it off to the side, and show you the head. Now there is one more difference. Give me 1 second. I'm going to run over here to just grab it. I love not being prepared. Okay. Alright. Now this is from the version 1 also. Now these are the heads right here from the version 1, and this is the version 2.5 head. Now if you look down the center of it, right there, you'll notice that this has like a cone shape going in down to the coil. And this is a more flatter. This one has a flat one, this one has a cone one. And what else did I notice? There was one more thing I noticed. I can't remember now. Oh, the little rubber grommet. That's right. The little rubber grommet on this is cut out so you can see it's the whole flat the whole thing is opened up, where this is only opened up like 1 millimeter in the center there. So that was the difference that I noticed with the version 1 to the 2.5. So what I'm doing right here is, when you have a head that you want to rebuild or you would like to replace, but you don't have a head, what you can do is replace it with some wick and wire of your own. Now what I'm going to be using is a piece of, little piece of hair, a piece of 3mm wick, one piece, and a piece of 32 gauge kanthal. What I'm going to do is show you how to do that. Now when you use these, if you want to change them as soon as you get them, you can do that. If you want to change them when they wear out, you can do that also. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to show you how to do that. first off, what you're going to need to do is take off the rubber cap. Place that off to the side right there. I want it to be in the camera, but I don't want it to be in the way. Then what I do is I take like a pair of needle nose and I just want to pull out this little metal pin. This is your little positive connector pin. I'm going to put it right next to the rubber grommet there. Next thing you can do is take out this little rubber piece. Now you notice there's nothing left in there. I got the rubber grommet out, and that is it. So what you can do then is just pull out your wick with your coil. Now you notice that it comes with this little like filler coating something in there. I do not tend to use these. After juice gets in them, they fall apart, it seems like. So now I'm going to put that off to the side. You just have this little metal piece in there. Now what I have seen is people bending these. I've seen people drilling these to put more wicks in there. Oops, excuse me. Or thicker wicks. What I have done with the 3mm wick, it fits perfect and it works perfect for me. It goes all the way down. It has a little snug fit, but nothing that you can't pull actually right through it. Okay, so it's not too tight. So now that we have that taken apart, we're going to take this and wrap the coil around the wick. I just like to run my fingernail across the coil just to get it straightened out. And it is simple as leaving off a nice little space, a nice little length, and starting up like an inch. Now this is just a piece of wire that I use. But then what you want to do is just start wrapping it around the center of the wick. Now I don't do this extremely tight, but I also don't do it extremely loose. Now what you're gonna do on how long, how wide your little wraps are gonna be is gonna determine. You do not want it to touch the outside of this metal piecing in here. So what I do is I'm going to unwrap that one because I think it's a little bit too wide. What I normally do is just pick up this piece and just put it over there and see if it's going to hit. Now that is going to hit. So what I take is a little dental tool that I use, and I just pull in the outside edges, or the outside wraps, right towards the middle wraps. Now I know that's going to be hard to see. Okay, it's just simply spun around that wick. And now I'm going to test it one more time to see if it's going to fit in there. And it looks like it does. So now I'm going to place that right there. I'm going to take this wick with the wires and I'm going to pull them together. I'm going to keep them all the way together down right here at the bottom. Whoops. In the edge where the openings there, I'm going to push these through right through the center. Make sure they both come out the bottom. And I'm going to slide the wick right into those two little slots. And then pull down on the two little ears that are coming down the bottom all the way down to the, so goes right into the bottom of the groove. Now you have a pretty much almost completed rebuilt wick for your Vivi Nova. You're going to pick up the little rubber piece that we took out, and we're going to take one of these pieces, now just one, and we're going to put it right through the center. Now you want to use the smaller side that goes back in first. So put it through, thread it through the wire, or through the rubber piece, one of the wires, and go all the way in. And you can just push it back into the Vivi Nova. Now what I like to do is give it a little bit more tug, but make sure you keep that rubber piece in there securely. A little more tug on both sides, and make sure the wick is still all the way down to the bottom of them, that little slot in there. Now what that did was it kept one wire touching the outside of the metal base here, and one wire is on the inside, not touching nothing, just touching the rubber. So what that's going to do is this right here is going to act as your negative, which is your threads on the head, the wick head, or the coil head, excuse me. This is going to act as your negative, and this, I'm going to take this positive pin and set it right back in the center, and just give it a little push right back in. Make sure my wick is still down to the base. So now you notice that the bottom one, or the outside one, is touching the negative on the outside, and the one that came up through the rubber piece is touching the center pin right there, the positive post. Now what I like to do to break these off is I like to hold one finger on one end and one finger holding the bottom of that positive pin. I take this one and I just give it some little turns, and it breaks right off nice and flush. Doing the same thing, push down, give it some nice little turns, and it breaks off nice and flush. There you go. Now it's all put together with the little rubber grommet. Push it back on there, and this is the Vivi Nova head, fully rebuilt, and saved yourself some money. And in my opinion, using the 3mm wick has found to be better wicking than the multiple wicks like these, the multiple small ones. The 3mm has proven to be better wicking, in my opinion. Now, I have seen some people using multiple 3mm wicks, but what I advise everybody to do, if you do that, is to cut a little tiny slot, because the wick does come up if you're using 2 or maybe even 3. I would cut a little slot into the rubber piece right there, so it's not choking it when you push it down. So now we're just going to put it back into the base. Okay. And we're going to look. Now, what I have done is left these wicks pretty long. Now, some people leave them this long, some people cut them. I have, my opinion, is I cut them right even with the white O-ring right there. So I'm going to cut that one right there. And I'll cut that one right there. So what that gives me is it's still a little bit longer, but it wraps up into the Vivi Nova and goes around I just wanted to wrap it that way first. There we go. So it stays down to the bottom of the tank. So now what you got is a Vivi Nova ready to be filled up with juice. Let me grab a bottle of juice. Sorry about that. I can't believe I didn't grab a bottle of juice. So I'm just going to fill this up with some Nutty Buddy Pink Spot. See how I got my name on it? Junkie Rock 13. Very nice. So now what I'm going to do is shake up the juice, move the scissors off to the side, and fill it up. Fill it up just by putting it right in there and giving the bottle a good old squeeze. This juice sometimes does not want to come out. And it's not that thick either. Now what I like to tell people on the Vivi Nova is this is a 5 ml tank, but you can fill it up with 2.8 mils of juice. Let me just put the cap back on and I'll show you that. Okay. So what you need to remember is the top line right here is where I like to fill the juice up to. If you fill it up all the way to the top, what I have found is that it floods sometimes. Not all the time, depends on the juice, but I keep it safe and just put 2.8 mils of juice in there. And the Vivi Nova has been very, very, very nice. Works very well. So there we go. Show how it vapes and tell you what I think about it. Okay, so there you have it. I rebuilt the coil. I showed you what comes with Vivi Nova 2.5. I know they've been out for a little bit, so I just wanted to do a quick little video on it and show people how I rebuild the heads. You really do not need to go out and buy heads. If that's the ones you like to use, then by all means, whatever works for you. I'm just giving you my opinion on what works for me. The 3mm silica wick that I use wicks perfect, and right now the wrap that I did comes out to be .9. I know you're not going to be able to see that. And I have this at let me bring that up just one bit. I'm going to bring that up to 4.1. Let me show you how this vapes. Just turn off the fan. Seems like every time I do this, I always have the fan on. I will get this, turn off the fan before I do or start making a video. One more vape. Nice vapor. No dry hits. Hit after hit. And vapor's great. No dry hits whatsoever. I do get dry hits with the Vivi Nova heads that come with it, but these heads, they work perfect when I rebuild them. That's all I have, folks. The Vivi Nova, many vendors sell them. So check them out and give it a whirl. Rebuild it yourself. Keep on vaping. Junkie Rock 13. Take care, everybody.